Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Kara Melendi and I'm sharing some cosmic guidance with you today, specifically taking a look at the move of Jupiter into Sagittarius that is going to be happening next week, November the 8th. So I believe that is next week, yes. And there's a lot of really shifts that are happening around this time that are very significant. And even as I'm going live today, this is actually a final week of a lot of endings, and we're really paving a way for the new beginning. And with Jupiter moving back into its home sign of Sagittarius, it really is this shift of energy, and anytime a planet moves into its home sign, it's like the energies are very similar. So Sagittarius and Jupiter are all about optimism. It's about expansion. It's about a sense of adventure. So when these energies come together and team up, it's amplified. So we're really feeling this shift. So I'm going to dive into that and give some guidance on how you can really harness this energy. So how you can really manifest with this energy, because that is what I love to do. I love looking at these cosmic shifts and what's happening in astrology, and then applying it in practical ways and really allowing it to deepen our understanding of ourselves and like these seasons and cycles that we go through in our life. And that's where the power comes in, when we're really able to manifest with this cosmic energy. So say hi if you are jumping in. Hello, Faye and Teresa and Megan. Alicia, hello goddess, welcome. Simona, definitely say hi if you're joining. Share this out so we can let more people know about this shift that's happening. Very powerful, and it is just going to help us deepen our understanding of our own journey and what has been going on, because at this time we're in the midst of Scorpio season, and this is where the deep healing and shadow work has been going on. And I wrote a post about this yesterday, talking about the themes that we go through in our own life and how at times we feel like we're alone when we're going through these transformations. And it is a unique journey. We all experience it in different ways, and it is that inner journey that we have to take. And at the same time, we're all in this together. We're all feeling this together. And I know from looking at the astrology that the last couple of months, really the last few months, if not longer, in a way, this whole last 12 months with Jupiter in Scorpio has been a time of going deep and looking at our shadows and releasing what isn't working and doing deep soul level healing. And now that we are in Scorpio season and we have Jupiter preparing to go back home into its sign of Sagittarius, it's like we're in a lot of the final stages of that, in the sense that we are really, what's being put in the spotlight right now is looking at what do I really need to let go of and release in terms of my belief systems, my energetic patterns and programs, how I'm showing up, what I'm giving my focus to in order to fully expand and move forward. Because when Jupiter moves into Sagittarius, it is about this growth and expansion that's going to take place. And we really step into that by releasing, by letting go. Because if we're bringing the old way of doing things, our old patterns, our old belief systems into the present, that's where we repeat the same patterns, and it's hard for us to move forward. So the Scorpio energy that we've been in, and with Jupiter in Scorpio, has been that process of like clearing and releasing so we can experience the freedom and expansion of moving forward. So let me know if that resonates, and if you've noticed like a theme this year of really doing like deeper level healing work. And that is also the beauty of Scorpio. So Jupiter, just to kind of step back a little bit and give you an example of this. So Jupiter really is this planet that's often associated with good luck, but it's also deeper than that. It's more about expansion. So whatever sign it's in, it's like it expands that. Whatever house it's in your chart, it's like it expands the activities of that house. So in Scorpio, it has been this deep dive of being able to see things in a new light, being very introspective, being able to look at like our patterns and our beliefs in a way that we may not have been able to look at before, and really gain a deeper understanding. Now, when it's making this shift into Sagittarius, it's a lighter energy, and we're able to realize at a deep core level and start asking the questions of, what if I can expand through joy? What if I can expand through fun? And just allowing it to be easier, because Jupiter in Sagittarius is also about optimism. And I think that's where the good luck factor comes in. When we are optimistic, and regardless of what we're going through in our life, we're able to harness that energy of optimism and realize, I can always move forward, right? And there's always like another day. And that's the energy of like Jupiter in Sagittarius. Tomorrow is another day. Each moment is a new beginning. And when we harness that, it is good fortune, because even in the challenging times, we see the blessings. Even in the difficult times, we are reminded that I can return to joy, that I can return to peace, and that it's safe for me to expand and grow in that way. I don't need to just expand through struggle and difficulty, but what if I can expand through joy? And that's going to be a big lesson of this transit. Okay, let me see these comments here. If you're just jumping in now, say hi. Hello, Danielle, welcome. And Marla, Jennifer, Rolene is here. Welcome, Goddess. Good evening. So evening for some people in the world, afternoon for me, depending on where we are. Hello, Mary. How are you, David? Welcome, welcome. And you are a Sagittarius, aren't you, David? So you probably relate to this. And anybody with like their sun in Sagittarius, your rising, even your moon in Sagittarius, this shift is going to be an amazing boost of energy and optimism for you. It's just like finally feeling like I'm back at home, and the work that I've been doing is really starting to pay off, and I'm really starting to see the momentum build. Kelly is here. Welcome, beautiful. Sagittarius rising and sun and north node. Oh, wow. So lots of Sagittarius energy. Hi, Jessica. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday and happy Halloween. Halloween today as well. All right, so what else can we say on this? This really is, we're going to feel this shift in an amazing way, especially if we have been giving ourselves that time to do the releasing work. And Sagittarius is very much, so Jupiter in Sagittarius is about freedom as well. And I think I put that in the title, Embracing Freedom. And for myself, freedom has always been like a top value for me. And what I've realized in my life is the more that I'm able to let go of, the more free that I feel. So as I forgive, I get closer to freedom, right? It's like I release the resentment, the anger, I get closer to this feeling of freedom. As I release judgments, I feel more free. So Jupiter in Sagittarius is going to be looking at, how am I kind of keeping myself enslaved through my belief systems, through my patterns, and how can I just embrace more joy, more freedom, and more expansiveness in my life? And it's also this energy of actual travel. It's like the adventurer of the zodiac. And this is in terms of like higher learning, higher knowledge, higher wisdom. And I think as a collective, we're really going to be seeking that out, like, you know, examining things in more of a philosophical way in our own personal life, feeling this calling to expand our knowledge. And with Sagittarius, it is about like the seeker of truth, getting to the truth, getting to the heart of it, and then also sharing our knowledge. And I think we're going to see changes in how like learning and communication and how that's done, like how we attain knowledge. Because with Sagittarius, it's not so much like I'm reading a book and I'm learning about this and then I'm sharing it. It's about embodying it. It's about how, like, through our life and through our experiences, through the adventures that we go through, we learn and we grow, and we all have our own unique story. So it's about harnessing that, seeking the truth in in the knowledge, in the information that we're consuming, and recognizing that's actually found within. That's found as I connect with my soul. I know that truth on a deep level, and then having the confidence to step up and share that. Because I also see Sagittarius as like this teacher energy as well. So it's going to be a powerful shift. And then around this time, we're going to have the new moon prior to that. And then we have the nodes shifting signs too. And I'm going to do a separate video on that. But basically I mention that because we are going through a time where we're kind of finishing up some cycles and we're entering a new stage. So it is going to be like that boost of refreshing energy that I feel like we all need and we're all embracing and we're welcoming into our life, and just a really positive transit for sure. Hi, Leah. How are you? Emily. Hello, beautiful goddess. Let me see. I hope it's like that. As the Taurus moon, I'm a Taurus moon too. I've been very uninspired, so looking forward to this change. Bring it on. Love it. Yes. Yeah, and it's going to affect us all differently. So if you actually know your birth chart, which I say is our soul blueprint, it's the energy that we chose to come into the world with, that we chose to work with, knowing there would be challenges within that, there would be blessings within that. But if you know where Sagittarius is in your chart, you'll get an idea of the area of life this is happening in for you. And the same with this transit that's been going on through Scorpio as well, where we've been kind of doing this deep dive of like seeing this expansion and things that were hidden under the surface coming to the light, seeing them in a new way. If you know where Scorpio is in your chart, you can get an idea of where those changes have been occurring for you. So it's really cool because we see these themes collectively and we feel these shifts, and then each of us gets to experience it in a unique way depending on where we are in our journey as well. So it's a really cool process. Hi, Megan. How are you? Welcome, beautiful. So really a way to kind of work and like harness this energy also is to look at where you've been holding yourself back and like playing small, because Sagittarius is this very like expansive energy of being confident in putting myself out there and trying something new. It's like the explorer. It's enjoying the exploration. And I think this is really an important thing for us all to remember as well, as we're like setting our goals and we're going through the manifesting process, is we can't just focus on the end result, because there's always going to be another goal, right? We set a goal, whether we meet it or not. Let's say we meet it, we meet the goal. It's just that launching off place for another goal to then take place. So if we are in that energy, it's always like the seeker and we're chasing, which sometimes can be the shadow side of Sagittarius. It's like this idea that the grass is always greener on the other side. So I'm always seeking the next adventure. So this is also a reminder to enjoy the journey, enjoy the process. And when we are really living in alignment with like our soul and what it's calling us to do and calling us to share in the world, we can enjoy the process more because we realize it's not about the outcome. We begin to enjoy each step of the way if we are creating a life that we love, right? It's not that we still set goals, but it's from a different place. It's from being in this space of grateful for where I am, grateful for what I have, enjoying the journey, and then still always embracing growth and expansion. So Sagittarius in its highest form, I feel, really is able to embody this. It's able to embody that energy of the visionary and the seeker and always moving and growing and going to the next adventure, but not in the sense that like the answers lie there or the truth is always just like out of reach and I have to keep going. But going on those adventures and that exploration out of a sense of joy and inspiration, and because I desire to, but not because it's going to necessarily lead to a certain outcome. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know if that is resonating with you. Basically, to sum that up, it's about learning to enjoy that journey, the adventure, and when we connect to where our soul is guiding us, we'll feel that. We'll be in the flow of that. Natalie, hello goddess, and Sarah, you are a Sagittarius. I know, Natalie, I remember looking at your chart because you just had so much Sagittarius energy. It's beautiful. And then that Taurus moon to ground it out, for sure. Kelly just realized I have no Sagittarius in my chart. Yeah, so the thing is we all have Sagittarius somewhere. Now, it may not be a focus, so you may not have any planets or asteroids in that area, but it's in the chart somewhere, meaning it's governing over one of your houses, but it may not be a big focus, right? It just kind of depends. We're all unique. We're all like working with these energies. Astrology represents these different archetypes, these different aspects of who we are. And then we come into this physical body and we choose to work more closely with some than others. And some of us choose, okay, Sagittarius this lifetime, I'm going to learn the lessons of that energy, whereas other people may choose to work more with like the Scorpio energy, right? Like our soul, I believe our soul makes that decision, and then we come forth and we learn the lessons that are embodied in that. Hey, Goddess Angela, welcome, beautiful. Janelle, fantastic guidance, totally resonates. You're a Sagittarius through and through, beautiful. So another shift that's actually happening today is we have Mercury, the planet of communication, moving into Sagittarius. So we're starting to pave the way for a focus more on Sagittarius energy in general. And this kind of points to something else I want to talk about is we work with the Sagittarius energy. So with any sign, there is like the highest form of expression that we're all working toward. And then there's more of a shadow side, or the challenges. And Sagittarius in the shadow can be a little bit impulsive. So it just doesn't always think things through, right? It just takes action. And with Mercury and Sagittarius, we can definitely be more prone to that, being more impulsive. But what I want to say about that too is that there's a difference between being impulsive and like trusting our intuition to guide us. And Sagittarius in its highest form of expression is extremely intuitive. It is one of the spiritual signs. It is that seeker of love and truth, which is very spiritual, right? It's like seeking the divine. And it's also very intuitive in that it just has like this knowing. It embodies the knowing of what is right for me, where I'm feeling guided. So when we're working with this energy, it's also getting to know ourselves and getting to know when I'm responding impulsively. So when I haven't really thought things through and I haven't looked at the details, or I'm just kind of ignoring all the signs, like that's impulsive, right? That's impulsive when everything is like screaming, don't do it, but we're cut off. We're not listening to the signs. We're not looking at the information. We're not trusting our intuition. And that's very different than being intuitively guided. When we're in that place of intuition, logically it may not always make sense, but we feel it at our core that it is the right decision for us. And working with the Sagittarius energy will actually help you get really good at knowing when am I being impulsive or when is it actually my intuition. And when I think about times in my life, I mean, I'm not an overly impulsive person by any means. I do have Aries rising, but I have a sun in Cancer and a moon in Taurus, so that kind of really balances out. But there's certainly times in my life where I didn't necessarily think things through overly well. If I felt like it was the right thing to do, I would just take action. But often in a lot of those times, I realized it was actually trusting my intuition. So I trust my inner guidance system enough. I trust my intuition when I got that sign that I didn't necessarily need to know all the details. It didn't necessarily need to line up. I just knew, because I work on trusting myself enough and trusting my intuition that if I get that sign, I get that impulse, I take the action. And I'm glad I do, because a lot of times I realize if I thought it through a little bit more, then the fear may have cut in. So this really is just about knowing yourself and where you may fall on that spectrum. If you're somebody that's like overly cautious and may look at all the things that could go wrong or more likely to get caught up in the fear, then harness the Sagittarius energy to help you like trust when you're receiving that guidance and that impulse to move forward, and just trust it. If you're on the side of maybe being a little bit more impulsive, then it is just that sign to slow down and ask yourself, is this an impulsive decision, or does this actually feel right? Is this coming from the space of intuition? Let me know if that's resonating or if there's questions around that. Natalie, I am learning to admire that about me. Thank you. You are welcome. Okay, let's scroll up here. David, just because there's nothing in that part of your chart doesn't mean something is not happening there. So true too, right? Wherever like that falls, like the transits could still be happening in that part of our chart. And then we have our progress chart as well. So it could be something happening in your progress chart. Then we have like our lunar returns and solar return chart. So it's really interesting. Our birth chart is always like a really good place to start because that's the core energy that our soul is working on mastering. And then from there, we can start to look at the progressed or like our solar return or the transits and how that's interacting with our chart for sure. Okay, Kelly, then I have Sagittarius in my 4th house and a little of the 5th. Awesome. Yeah, so those are the areas, right? Okay, let me just check on the time because I do have a client coming up fairly soon. Okay, like, do I still have time for this? All right, so I will be doing a video, it'll probably be next week, on the shift of the nodes because that's going to be happening around the same time of Jupiter shifting as well. So we are at a time where like our life path is going to be changing too. We're going to see more of the goddess energy coming in as the North Node moves into Cancer. So that's really interesting. So for now, I'll just say it is going to be like a change. We're going to feel this in November and December, like really feeling this energetic shift and kind of getting a sense of the energies as we go into 2019, right? It's going to be like a new energy as we step into that space. So and just one other thing I want to mention, I don't think I'd mentioned this. So with Jupiter, it takes about 12 years. It stays in a sign for about a year at a time. This time it's going to be 13 months in Sagittarius. So this can be cool too to start to look at like the different themes in your life. But if you look back about 12 years ago, see what was going on in your life at that time. It's always interesting. The last time that Jupiter was in this position. And you'll probably find in some way or another, it was like a turning point in the sense of you were being called to expand and grow in a new direction in your life, right? It's like this new expansion. So think back, what was happening at that time and get like a sense of what was going on in your life. Because sometimes the same like patterns and themes can reemerge, and that can be revealing in itself, right? Because it can let us know, am I still kind of stuck in some patterns that it's now like it's time to release, it's time to do this differently now. And it's also a way to see our growth over time, like how we're always growing and evolving. So it's really cool. Okay. All right, so I'm going to finish up so I have some time to recenter and focus before I'm working with my client. And I do want to say as well, I now have one spot left for one-on-one goddess mentoring, and you'll get to work closely with your chart. You'll get to know your soul blueprint. You'll get to know how to harness that and use that to create momentum in your business. And it's more than just the astrology. We'll be doing lots of clearing work, releasing blocks, any fears that you have around like stepping up and sharing your message with the world, or if you feel there's resistance around your business, like taking it to the next level, we will clear that, we will release that, and there'll also be a aligned strategy to help you attract soulmate clients that you just connect with beautifully, because that's what makes our work amazing, right? When we're connecting with souls that we just feel that deep soul level connection. So send me a message if you want more details on what that entails and how it can be of service to you. Another big part of the work as well will really be like harnessing the energy of your business. So allowing yourself to be a channel for what wants to be expressed through your business, whether that is a product, whether that is a service that you're offering. But it's like tapping into the unique energy of your business and learning how to work with that to create expansion. And it's just it becomes a really beautiful co-creative process. All right, you are welcome, Alicia. Oceans of love. Awesome, David, sending love. Lori is thinking of a move she did 12 years ago. So cool. Yeah, in some way or another, there usually is like a sense of adventure when we look back. And sometimes that was like an actual move. I remember like moving across the country at that time to study psychology. It was like a huge shift in my life of a new adventure. So sometimes it is physical with Sagittarius. Sometimes it's like a new study, right? Like we started to study a new subject at that time or learn something new. Often they're combined because Sagittarius is about like learning and knowledge through exploration and adventure. So it's cool how that's combined. All right, thank you so much, goddesses, for hanging out today, for your love, for your support. And if the one-on-one goddess mentoring is resonating with you, send me a message and we'll see if that's a good fit. So sending lots of love and light and wishing you an amazing rest of your day. Bye.